This show is part of One Place, a daily network of focused briefings across the stories people follow most.
Welcome to our daily roundup. We have a packed schedule today covering everything from high-stakes soccer in London to the absolute chaos of the NCAA tournament and the roar of NASCAR engines.
Arsenal and Manchester City battle for the EFL Cup.
Texas makes history by reaching the Sweet 16.
Duke dominates TCU to secure their regional spot.
Tyler Reddick takes the pole position at Darlington.
WNBA players secure a major new payday agreement.
Kentucky survives a thriller against gritty Santa Clara.
Real Madrid faces Atletico in a crucial derby.
Injury concerns surround Tennessee star forward Nate Ament.
Otega Owe shines while his brother signs big.
Kansas coach Bill Self manages ongoing heart health.
Starting with English football, the EFL Cup final at Wembley is finally here, and it is a historic matchup between Arsenal and Manchester City. For the first time in the competition's 66-year history, the top two teams in the Premier League are facing off for this trophy. Arsenal enters as the favorite, holding a 9-point lead in the league and remaining undefeated in their last 6 games against City. Mikel Arteta is looking to best his former mentor, Pep Guardiola, and keep the dream of an unprecedented quadruple alive for the Gunners.
It is a massive opportunity for both clubs, especially since Manchester City was just knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. They will be hungry for redemption, but Arsenal looks incredibly sharp after easing past Bayer Leverkusen. For fans in the United States, you will need to head over to Paramount Plus to catch the action, as there is no traditional TV broadcast. The match kicks off Sunday at 4:30 local time in London, which is midday for most of us here in the States.
Moving to college hoops, the Texas Longhorns are officially the Cinderella story of 2026. After barely making the tournament and having to play in the first 4, Sean Miller's squad has fought their way into the Sweet 16. They just knocked out number 3 seed Gonzaga with a 74-68 victory in Portland. This is a rare feat, as Texas is only the 6th team in 15 years to go from the first 4 all the way to the second weekend. Their clean play and low turnovers have been the absolute difference maker.
Dalen Swain was incredible, recording 12 assists and only 1 turnover across the last 2 games. And we cannot forget Cam Heide, who had not scored all game but hit a massive dagger 3-pointer in the closing seconds to seal the win. It is the first time Texas has reached the Sweet 16 as a double-digit seed since 1997. They survived a late-season slump where they lost 5 of 6 games, but now they are playing their best basketball when it matters most. They are proving everyone wrong.
Next, the top seed. Duke is showing exactly why they earned the number 1 overall seed. After a bit of a scare in their opening game against Siena, the Blue Devils found their rhythm against TCU, winning 81-58. Cameron Boozer was the star of the show, shaking off a slow start to finish with 19 points. Duke's second-half performance was dominant, shooting over 60% from the field. They used a massive 26-6 run to break the game open, leaving the Horned Frogs with no answer for their size and depth.
The game got quite physical, with a few flagrant fouls and even a technical on TCU coach Jamie Dixon. Despite the chippy nature of the contest, Duke stayed focused and secured their 3rd straight Sweet 16 appearance under John Shire. Now, they are heading to Washington, D.C. for the regional semifinals. They will face the winner of the Kansas and St. John's game, which means a matchup against a legendary coach like Bill Self or Rick Pitino is on the horizon. Duke looks like a team on a mission right now.
Now to the racetrack. Michael Jordan's 23XI racing team is absolutely on fire in the NASCAR Cup Series. Tyler Reddick, who already made history by winning the first 3 races of the season, just locked up the pole position for Sunday's race at Darlington. Even after hitting the wall during his qualifying lap, Reddick managed a speed of over 169 miles per hour. He admitted he overdid the throttle while adjusting to a new high-horsepower, low-downforce package. It is his 13th career pole, and he is showing no signs of slowing down his momentum.
His teammate, Bubba Wallace, will start right alongside him in second place, marking a front-row sweep for the team. Wallace had a very emotional week, as he just welcomed a newborn daughter on Thursday. He dedicated his qualifying performance to her and noted how difficult the new car package is to handle at a tough track like Darlington. With Reddick and Wallace currently ranked first and second in the points standings, 23 LXI Racing is clearly the team to beat this year. They are making Michael Jordan very proud in the racing world.
Shifting to sports business, there is big news for the WNBA, as players are finally getting a significant payday through a new collective bargaining agreement. This comes at a time when women's basketball is seeing a massive surge in popularity. On the collegiate side, the tournament has already delivered some incredible moments, like High Point University upsetting Wisconsin. The hero of that game, Chase Johnston, made a layup to win it, which was actually his first 2-point basket of the entire season. It is those kinds of stories that make March Madness so special for fans every single year.
We also saw North Carolina fall to Virginia Commonwealth after blowing a 19-point lead. It just goes to show that no lead is safe in this tournament. Even the top-ranked teams, like Duke, have struggled at times, nearly losing to 16-seed Siena in a game where Siena didn't use a single substitution. That hasn't happened in the tournament since 1979. The fatigue eventually caught up to them, but it nearly resulted in one of the biggest upsets in history. The gap between the top seeds and the rest of the field is definitely shrinking.
Back to the court. Day 2 of the tournament gave us an absolute classic between Kentucky and Santa Clara. It was a back-and-forth battle that went into overtime, with Kentucky eventually pulling out an 89-84 victory. Otega Owe was the hero, scoring a career-high 35 points and cementing himself as a tournament legend. Santa Clara coach Herb Sendek was frustrated after the game, claiming he called a timeout that the officials missed. Despite the controversy, Kentucky's momentum was undeniable as they made their final 5 shots to secure the win and move on to face Iowa State.
In other action, Utah State took down Villanova in a high-energy 8-9 matchup. The Aggies were relentless, going on a 14-1 run late in the game to seal the 76-86 win. M.J. Collins Jr. was a force, scoring 9 points in the final 3 minutes. Utah State simply refused to miss, shooting lights out for the final 12 minutes of the game. While some other matchups on Day 2 were less competitive, these 2 games provided the drama and high-level play that fans crave during the first round of the Madness.
Heading to Spain now. The Madrid Derby is upon us, and the stakes could not be higher for Real Madrid. They are currently 4 points behind Barcelona with only 10 games left, so they cannot afford to drop any points against Atletico. Alvaro Arbeloa's side is coming off a massive 5-1 aggregate win over Manchester City in the Champions League, so morale is high. Atletico is also feeling confident after knocking out Tottenham in a high-scoring affair. While Atleti's title hopes are slim, they would love nothing more than to play spoiler and jump ahead of their city rivals.
This match will be available on ESPN Deportes for Spanish speakers and can be streamed in English on ESPN Select. It is part of a full weekend of La Liga action, but this is clearly the marquee matchup. The game kicks off at the Santiago Bernabéu on Sunday night. With both teams reaching the European quarterfinals this week, we expect a very intense and tactical battle. Real Madrid has the pressure of the title race on their shoulders, while Atletico is playing for pride and a higher spot in the final league standings.
Checking on injury news. Tennessee fans are keeping a close eye on star forward Nate Ament, who has been struggling with a lingering ankle injury. Ament was the Volunteers' second leading scorer this season, but his availability has been limited since late February. Coach Rick Barnes admitted that Ament won't be 100% until the season is over. Despite the pain, Ament is trying to play through it, though his minutes have been restricted. In their recent win over Miami of Ohio, he was only able to play 18 minutes and didn't record a single point, which is concerning.
It is a tough situation because Ament is such a competitor. He actually had a 27-point game against Auburn shortly after the initial injury, but he hasn't looked the same since then. Against Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament, he struggled significantly, shooting just 1 for 13 from the floor. Tennessee needs him at his best if they want to make a deep run in the tournament. The team is doing everything they can to manage his soreness, but it is clear that every minute he spends on the court is a physical battle for him.
A family of stars. Kentucky's Otega Oweh isn't the only athlete in his family making headlines this month. While Otega was hitting buzzer beaters in the NCAA tournament, his older brother Odafe Oweh was busy signing a massive 9-figure contract in the NFL. Odafe, a former first-round pick, just inked a 4-year, $100 million deal with the Washington Commanders. It has been an incredible few weeks for the Oweh family, with both brothers excelling at the highest levels of their respective sports. Odafe's success as a pass rusher is now being matched by Otega's rising stardom on the basketball court.
Odafe spent several seasons with the Baltimore Ravens before a stint with the Los Angeles Chargers, and now he is expected to be a cornerstone for the Commanders' defense. Meanwhile, Otega is focused on bringing a national title back to Lexington. The brothers have always been close, and their competitive drive clearly runs in the family. As Otega continues his quest through March Madness, he has the financial security and support of his big brother behind him. It is a remarkable story of two siblings reaching the pinnacle of American sports at the exact same time.
Finally, a coaching update. Kansas head coach Bill Self has been dealing with some significant health challenges this season. The 63-year-old was hospitalized in January after experiencing abnormal chest issues, which doctors later identified as dehydration and AFib. Self has a history of heart problems, including blocked arteries that required several stents over the last few years. The latest scare prevented him from traveling to a game against Colorado because doctors didn't want him flying. It has led to some speculation about his long-term future on the sidelines, but Self remains committed to leading the Jayhawks through the tournament.
Despite the health concerns, Self says he feels good and has been thoroughly checked out by medical professionals. He even mentioned that he could have coached the Colorado game if it hadn't required a flight. In his absence, Jacques Vaughn stepped in and led the team to a victory. Kansas has had a bit of an up-and-down season by their high standards, but having their Hall of Fame coach back on the bench is a huge boost. They are heading into a tough matchup against Duke, and Self's experience will be vital for their success.
That wraps up our sports roundup for today. Thanks for joining us for these updates. Be sure to follow the show for your next daily briefing on the stories that matter most.